Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. We may now be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the inauguration of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project. To formally begin our program, may we call on Northern Samar Governor Edwin Marino C. Ongchuan to deliver his welcome remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, His Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., His Excellency Lee Sang-hwa, Korean Ambassador to the Philippines, Cabinet Secretaries, and other government officials, local elected officials, fellow workers in government, mga maupay nga aga sa iyong atanan. Today is indeed a momentous occasion for the province and the people of Northern Samar. This day is not just a promise fulfilled, for today is another reason for a lot of Nortehanon to dream big because dreams really do come true. The Samar Pacific Coastal Road is a decades-long aspirations of our people, particularly the people of Northern Samar living in what we have long called the Pacific towns, the towns of Lapinig, Gamay, Mapanas, and Palapag, which was among the first major settlements in the whole Samar Island. As the SPCR completes the Samar Island Circumferential Road, this project will significantly improve the transport of the people and goods, not just in Northern Samar, but also with the province of Eastern Samar. The SPCR will greatly impact the economic development of our province, as it will remarkably increase agricultural productivity of the thousands of our farmers and fisher folks, thereby improving our program for food self-sufficiency. It will also boost our tourism industry and help sustain our peace and resiliency efforts in Northern Samar. For the information of everybody, nandito po dati ang sentro ng mga New People's Army. Kaya kami po ay kumakatok sa puso po ng ating mahal na Pangulo na sana po ay matuloy na po ang SPCR 2 or ang Samar Pacific Coastal Road 2. Specifically, the Rawis to Laoang Bridge 2 and the Pangpang to Kalumutan Bridge. Of our minority floor leader, Marcelino Libanan also, this vital addition to our infrastructure will significantly impact the lives of the people of Northern Samar. Moreover, it increases the access in the Pacific towns, educational services, and to the many types of commerce with the provincial capital and other towns. To say that we are thankful is an understatement. Words can never express the immense joy that is in our hearts. Nonetheless, I would like to express and to convey our deepest gratitude to the national government led by our Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., a true advocate for progress and development, leading the inauguration of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road 1. Mr. President, your presence here today is a testament to your commitment towards furthering to the growth of our nation, and the Department of Public Works and Highways through Secretary Manuel Bonoan for ensuring the completion of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to former President Rodrigo Duterte for including SPCR in his Build, Build, Build program. My utmost respect as well to the Republic of Korea through the Korea Exim Bank for the funding assistance, and the Ilsung Construction Corporation and their local counterpart, Pacific Concrete Builder, headed by Alex Lopez, for leading the construction of this billion-peso project. On behalf of the grateful people of Northern Samar, maraming salamat po, Mr. President, mahal na Pangulo. I humbly welcome and to you all in this province, in this momentous inauguration of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project. Thank you very much, at padayon nga kuswagan. Maupay nga aga sa iyong tanan.
Thank you, Governor Ong Chuan. At this juncture, may we request Korean Ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Lee Sang-hwa, to deliver his message.
His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines, Honorable Manuel M. Bonoan, Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Mabuhay. Good morning, everyone. At the outset, let me congratulate and welcome all of you who are here to celebrate the inauguration of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road SPCR project. I presented my credentials to President Marcos just this Monday, and now he's here with us despite his extremely daunting schedule. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for gracing this occasion. While this is the first time I left Luzon since arriving last month, this is actually my second time in this province. Back in 2013, I accompanied former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in the aftermath of Super Typhoon Yolanda. While the scale of devastation was overwhelming, the local community still welcomed us as only Filipinos can, with a smile and a genuine warm hospitality. For Secretary General Ban, this exemplified the true resilience of the Filipino people. For me, it reinforced my impression of the indomitable spirit that has made the Philippines a close friend and reliable partner of Korea for nearly 7.5 decades. Thus, when the Korean government dispatched a group of soldiers, engineers, and medical personnel to the Philippines to assist in the rehabilitation efforts, it was reminiscent of the selfless contribution of the brave Filipino soldiers who fought in the Korean War to preserve our nation's sovereignty and freedom. For 1 year, the contingent that was named Arao worked shoulder to shoulder with the Filipino brothers to rebuild the community. 10 years after, we are here now to support the Build Better More initiative under the able stewardship of President Marcos. I'm proud to be a part of this infrastructure project, which was completed despite many obstacles, including the COVID-19 crisis. This also aligns very well with the Indo-Pacific strategy of President Yoon Suk-yeol of the Republic of Korea. Enhancing connectivity, prominent features in his strategy. So the Korean government is looking forward to partnering further with the Philippine government in its development thrust. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals calls on the states to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Economic growth, social development, and climate actions are heavily dependent on investment in infrastructure and industrial development. In many parts of the world, it has been proven that a strong and resilient infrastructure is a core driver to eradicate poverty and advance sustainable development. In this context, I'm pleased with the valuable partnership our two governments and private partners have nurtured over the past decades in the infrastructure sector. There are many Korean companies making humble contribution in this country. One recent example is the North-South commuter railways in Luzon. I attended this groundbreaking ceremony along with Transportation Secretary Bautista last week. The SPCR is a backbone project that can support the entire province and the local communities which stand to gain from this grand infrastructure undertaking. The SPCR will highlight the beauty of the island, ease the movement of people and goods, improve the delivery of basic services, and spur coastal business opportunities. Finally, it is worthy to note that Korea and the Philippines will be celebrating the 75th anniversary of diplomatic ties next year. For my part, I will do my best to forge stronger ties between our governments and peoples. The signing of the new EDCF framework agreement in the amount of $3 billion last December was a clear testament to our government's firm commitment to be a reliable development partner of the Philippines in the years to come. And in doing so, please be assured that Korean enterprises such as Ilsung Construction and Pyeongha Engineering have gained a world-class reputation for delivering on their promises. They will continue to remain as the most dependable partner of the Philippines. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ambassador Lee. To give us a briefing of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project, may we invite Public Works and Highways Secretary Manuel Bunoan.
His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea in the Philippines, His Excellency Lee Sang-hwa, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, it is my pleasure to give you a run-through of a very significant milestone project that has long been awaited by the peace-loving people, not only in northern Samar, but also in eastern Samar. This project, implemented by the Department of Public Works and Highways with technical and financial assistance from the Korea Export-Import Bank Economic Development Cooperation Fund, is a segment of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project that has been continuously developed through the years. This particular road project involves the construction of the missing link, including several bridges along the Samar Pacific Coastal Road that will eventually link the towns of Palapag and Laoang, a total of 27 kilometers in northern Samar. Today, Mr. President, Phase 1 of this road project, 11.6 kilometers, to be inaugurated, is the most crucial segment along the Samar Pacific Coastal Road project that will now be open to traffic, providing the most long-awaited access connection between Samar and the town of Palapag here in northern Samar that will promote not only peace and security, but will also open up vast agricultural areas for development. After a long process of project preparation that took more than 5 years due to a number of sensitive issues related to environmental, social, peace and order considerations, the actual construction eventually started in the mid-2018 under the Build Infrastructure program of the past administration. It was not an easy job, Mr. President, to implement the project, as it had to overcome challenges along the way, including weather disturbances. As you know, Samar Island is along the typhoon belt of the Philippines, the effect of the pandemic, access restriction to project site, as well as security issues, to name a few. Nonetheless, with the help and assistance of the national and local government officials of Northern Samar, they worked together and implementation continued on that took about 5 years and eventually completed only last month, June 2023, under the Build Better More Administration program of your administration, Mr. President. It may be worth noting that processing of Phase 2 of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project is now currently under process for possible continued financing for the Korean Exim Bank that will involve the construction and improvement of another 15 kilometers of road towards the island town of Laoang, including the construction of 2 relatively long bridges. This, Mr. President, is consistent with the 8-point agenda of Your Excellency, particularly in ensuring food security and providing efficient road network to reduce transport and logistic costs. It is also aligned with the Philippine Development Plan for the 2023 to 2028 to eradicate poverty and raise the standard of living of the Filipino people. Thank you. Mabuhay.
Thank you, Secretary Bunoan. At this juncture, may we request the President to lead the unveiling of the marker of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project. May we also request in front the stage party to assist the President and witness the ceremony. In a count of 3, Mr. President. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations to everyone. A big round of applause. At this point, may we call on Secretary Manuel M. Bunoan to introduce our guest of honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you, our DPWH Secretary Manny Bunoan. Please take the seat. Your Excellency, Lee Sang-hwa, the Ambassador of the Republic of Korea to the Philippines, Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Anton Lagdameo, Northern Samar Governor Edwin Marino Ongchuan, fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Maupay nga adlaw sa ingon natanan. I am glad to be with you all today to preside over the inauguration of one of the final parts of the Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project. Let me first extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Korean government through the Exim Bank of Korea for your support for this project and the other initiatives in the Build Better More program. Indeed, you have helped us lay the groundwork for a more progressive and prosperous Philippines. If you have noticed, the Secretary Manny Bunuan and I were looking at the piece of paper, and what it was is this. This is a chart of the projects that Korea is funding here in the Philippines. There are 21 of them, and we anticipate even an increase of that. And Korea has always been a very good friend to the Philippines. The ambassador mentioned about the time in Yolanda, about the recovery and the relief that we were. Korea was one of the first countries to send a sizable contingent to come and to help us. And furthermore, not only did they come to help us to bring the relief goods, to bring water, they helped us very much with the water supply and the relief goods, and they brought their own vehicles, and they assigned many of their soldiers to come and be of assistance. And there were also engineers. But the further thing that Korea did for us, when maybe 80% of the other aid programs had already left the province, Korea stayed for another 3 years. For 3 years. And what they did was not fit, because the effort to bring relief goods was already finished. They were now rebuilding the water systems, rebuilding the electrical systems, and they did not leave us until those buildings were complete. And that is why I say thank you once again to our friend, very, very good friend in Korea. It has been an honor to build this partnership with you. I look forward to more collaboration and more flagship projects for the greater good of the Filipino people. I am certain that this undertaking will only further strengthen the cooperation between the Philippines and South Korea. The completion of this key infrastructure initiative links the so-called Pacific towns of Samar and establishes a circumferential road around the entire island, connecting markets, industries, and communities. With the opening of this road and its bridges, the development of northern Samar's rich agricultural lands and bountiful fishing grounds will follow suit. It will also expedite the delivery and movement of our basic goods and services, which will hopefully boost our people's quality of life. This undertaking strengthens the government's resolve to improve the peace and order situation in the province and ensure that our economic gains and basic services reach everyone in the island. So it is something that and this is the reason why I was explaining to the ambassador that this is approximately a 30-year-old project. We have been waiting and hoping everything that could happen to a project happened to this project. The storms came, there were security problems. Matagal na nating inaantay ito. We have been talking about this, but then when it was starting to move again, the pandemic hit, so tigil na muna. And so that is why it was so important for me to come and to be able to see exactly what finally we have been able to complete, that all of us here from Eastern Visayas have been waiting to see, because it is not only Samar that will be helped. When the economic activity in Samar is, then of course the peace and order situation should improve, and then of course the government, the local governments will have more options, will have more ability to take on their initiatives. And this will help the entire region. And of course, from in Leyte, all this business will go through Tacloban. So that's also good for Leyte. So this is, it is a very important development that we are witnessing today. So let me also recognize the work of the provincial government. together with various national government agencies in delivering services for the people of Northern Samar. There is nothing that we can do in the national government without the full cooperation and assistance of local government. Hindi namin kayang gawin kung kami lang. At marami kaming nakukuha at natulong, advice, experience na nanggagaling sa local government. Kaya that's why I have always told my colleagues in the national government, you listen to the local government officials. And we did, and that cooperation strengthened, and that is why we are here today. You in the local government can be assured of this government's continued unconditional support in your efforts to alleviate poverty, to promote good governance, secure the health and well-being of your citizenry, and usher inclusive development in your province. Allow me as well to reaffirm the national government's commitment to continue implementing high-impact infrastructure projects throughout the archipelago. I therefore urge the officials and employees of the DPWH to stand firm on our mission to establish a seamless and inclusive inter-island connectivity through national and local linkages. Through our determined efforts, we can build projects that will spur the growth of our local industries, boost our trade and our commerce, create more opportunities for our people. So let's never cease to reach out for bigger, grander, more ambitious goals that we can give every Filipino the future that they heartily dream of and justly deserve. Damo nga salamat, mabuhay kayong tanan. Thank you, and magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. First, may we call on stage the DPWH officials. Officials of the Korean Embassy and Kexim Bank, please stand by and prepare. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, officials of the Korean Embassy and Kexim Bank, you may now proceed on stage. Congressmen, mayors, board members, and other LGU officials, please stand by and prepare. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Next, congressmen, mayors, board members, and other LGU officials, you may now proceed on stage.